man, morning. How are you, Roger? Good. Good man, Roger, good man. Yeah, obviously, before he came to us in Ballydoyle here, he was, everybody in Coolmore had a very high opinion of him. He was a very highly rated horse. He always had lovely balance. He's compact, he's great mover, he's great front and hind legs. He's a lovely shoulder, nice neck, good head. And I suppose it's his movement makes him very different. His movement and his balance, I think that comes from the way he's put together, really. He was always a beautiful horse, really. We always kind of viewed him as a kind of 7 furlong mile, 2-year-old back end with his pedigree. But straight away when we started to work him, he was doing it way easier than he should have been doing. But we waited as long as we could, and we resisted going to Ascot with him and took our time the best we could. But he was in his own kind of company and grade, and pedigree-wise, he was always a step above them really all the way. I suppose then in March, April, when the work got more serious, we knew he was very different then.
To get up in the morning and to come and ride a horse like him out, I'm only blessed. I'm very lucky. He showed enough in his work. Probably we moved on to the Ascot grass. He put in some nice pieces of work that showed us he was definitely different. As a 2-year-old, I rode him a couple of times up the grass. He wasn't always straightforward, but he always had that something. It's quite hard to explain, it's a feel when you get on a horse, and he always had that. So it was kind of just putting things together, and he seems to have put it together well now.
Every horse don't have weaknesses until they're exposed, and then when you expose them, you see what they are. We thought he's very strong a lot of ways. He's tactically quick, he stays, he's genuine, he tries very hard, he can be aggressive. All the good things an athlete has to have, really. Obviously, I left him too fresh in the Guineas, and it just all went wrong on us. And I suppose he's like a lot of good people, a lot of good athletes, that he's able for a lot of work. Those type of horses kind of need more work than others. If you do the same with them, they find it too easy. And maybe that's what happened is going to the Guineas. He was working with the rest, but he was kind of doing it half speed and where they were working. So I suppose he's a very, very special horse, really.
He's actually a pleasure to work with. He's a real kind horse. When it comes to his work, there's plenty of aggression there, but day to day to deal with in the stable, he's very kind. For us, it's to control that with him, but he wants to gallop. I always say he's the kind of horse he'd run through a brick wall for you. He wants it, and he's got a real kind side to him that goes with it, which makes him really easy to work with.
Obviously, from a 2-year-old, his first, second, third run, he was always different. More ability, more power, more aggression, more stamina. He seems to have more of everything than any of the others we've had. And I suppose his balance and obviously his pedigree makes him very unique as well. He's a very independent thinker. For instance, if he was in a bunch of 80 horses and something spooked, it's natural instinct for horses all spook one after another, but he's not like that. He's different. He will do his own thing. He won't go with the crowd. He's a very independent thinker, makes his own mind up about things, and that's the way he's always been, which is very unusual. I suppose if he was in the wild, he would be an alpha male. Obviously, he's a natural born leader. He's not influenced by anything or anybody else around him. He makes his own mind up about stuff, really.
Day to day, my job is to try and keep him relaxed, but the days that we do, sort of open him up and things, it's, it just feels like he grows a few hands. The power and the ground he covers is just, he does everything with ease. You don't get that too often. He gets stronger by the day, and he's maturing mentally as well. He's learning to You know, he'd really try and bottom himself every time and give you everything, but he's really learning to control that now, and he's doing things good, so yeah, he's special.
Every horse is different, every situation is different, every year is different. I suppose all the things that all the stones that we can look under, we have looked under. Sometimes when you're training horses, you might forget to look under some stone, and that's the one that'll come and get you. So we think we've done as much as we can do. Obviously, every day is a learning curve here in every way. But we think we've covered as many angles as we can. We didn't over-race him, we kept him fresh, and we slowly built him up to this day as the whole year went on. Obviously, in this part of the world we don't have dirt, so we couldn't do that. But all the other stuff we were trying to do and try to prepare him the best we could. So who knows, we think we've done as good as we can have done. And we think we've looked under every stone that we should have until, I suppose, another one comes along. So that's just the way it is.
He seems to take most things within his stride. For me, the biggest thing with him is it doesn't matter what's happening around him. He's a horse that the head goes down and he wants to gallop. And for me, in a race like that, you know, he'd never shy away from things. Everything's very forward going for him. So I think I'm fingers crossed he takes to it. I think he's got everything, the way he moves, he's well able to step into the strong kind of gallop, but he can maintain it. And once he starts to open up, he only gets stronger. So I think he's a high chance.
We never expect anything in any race. We do our best in every way and hope. We think if you have the best horse, you have a good chance. If we have prepared him properly. Obviously, he has to be extra good and probably extra better than the rest, because he's going racing in a different culture, a different surface, a different pace of race. Everything is going to be different for him. But we think we have done as much as we can in this part of the world. Obviously, if he was trained in America, he would have probably had to cope with a lot of the stuff that he's going to have to cope with before now. But obviously it's all new to him. But we always feel and think the most important thing is ability. And we think that he's exceptional in that department.